My name is Ashley, and this is Let's Talk Dispatch.
I do. You're gonna do it. Do it really well.
And I believe the world needs more dispatchers.
Around in the mud, blood, and beer.
Years that I'm not working 4th of July. 4th of July.
Saying community policing, right? What about community dispatching?
So on this show, with the help of my guests, we will educate, empower, and support the heroes behind the headset.
Right.
You know, I always now forget to unmute my mic when I go live. And one day I'm going to remember to unmute it. But today was not that day. We are live for our first episode, being live recorded of the Let's Talk Dispatch podcast, our 100th episode of Let's Talk Dispatch. I'm so excited to be here with every single one of you virtually to celebrate this landmark event of 100 episodes. And more importantly, not just the number, but that means at least 100 people. Some episodes I had more than one guest on the show were willing to share their stories with me, be vulnerable with me, share their journey, and ultimately share their journeys with you. So I'm super excited to celebrate that today with you folks and my guests. So over the next hour and a half, I will be chatting with some guests live, interacting with you folks on these multiple live streams. So if you're listening, please ask questions, interact. Hello from New Jersey. Hello from California. Thank you so much for joining us live. Again, throw questions in the comments. We're going to be doing giveaways. We are going to be interacting with you folks. If you did not enter the giveaway prior to jumping on this live stream, don't you worry. We're going to have options and moments for folks to enter giveaways live here. So don't worry about that at all. I would like to take a moment to shout out our partners over at Prepared for partnering with us to promote the message that the world needs more dispatchers. And we all know that to be true. If you're currently a dispatcher or formerly a dispatcher, staffing shortages are real. Our call volume continues to go up. Companies like Prepared create software that actually works in real time in our centers. So head over to prepare911.com to check out the technology they have available for you in your center, as well as first responders in general. All right, so like I said, we are 100 episodes in of the Let's Talk Dispatch podcast, and it all started, the Raspy Dispatcher all really started with me stumbling into dispatch with a master's degree in administration of justice and having a little bit of disappointment with my higher education experience, not talking about dispatch as I got into this line of work. So it started with the YouTube channel, The Raspy Dispatcher, which has grown tremendously over the last couple years, grown into resources for current and aspiring dispatchers. And it's grown into a wonderful community with you folks online, on Instagram, on Facebook, in our private Facebook group. It's just been wonderful to witness the growth of this community and the growth of you guys individually who message me, who get into this line of work, who go through this process. Some who go through this process and, it doesn't end up working out for them and are still very appreciative of the knowledge and the support that you had throughout. So with that all being said, we're going to go ahead and do our first giveaway. So if you're listening live and you have not entered the giveaway, I would love for you to do so by just throwing your name in the comment section wherever you're listening to. And by your name, make sure just to put what platform you're tuning in on, so it's easier to find you after everything's all said and done. So we're going to give some people a little time to throw their name and the platform they are streaming from in the chat if they want to be entered into this giveaway. But we do have a bunch of names already in the wheel from folks who entered previously before we started going live. So again, if you're just tuning in, we're about to do a giveaway for our 100th episode of our Let's Talk Dispatch podcast. And if you have not entered already and you are interested in throwing your name in the hat here, definitely throw your name on there, and we will. Awesome. I love the dinner break from work, Joe. And we'll throw your name in there and we will do our best to find you after this podcast. Of course, if I announce that you're the winner, if you shoot me a message on socials or anything like that, that's helpful too, just to make sure we get the folks, the stuff that we're going to be raffling. So let's see. I'm going to be adding these names if we don't have them already. Hello from Facebook. Awesome. Hello from YouTube. I've never really streamed. Well, I have streamed live on YouTube in the past, so it's awesome to see folks hopping on from YouTube as well. So thank you so much, Joe. YouTube. Okay. And again, if you're just tuning in, we're going to be doing a giveaway here while we wait for our first guest to come on. I'm going to share my screen here. We got to love technology. I mean, this is just wonderful, everyone. Okay. So I'm sharing my screen here. This is going to be, we're going to operate off two wheels here. One wheel is going to pick the giveaway. So we're going to be giving away sticker packs. So I'll send you a random pack of our stickers that we have available online. We have Because lanyards that are new. They haven't actually come in yet. They're actually supposed to be here this week. So we are going to give away some of those. We have our new Because enamel pins that we have available to give away, as well as our Because shirts, our Because tote bags, and 911 Training Institute as well has thrown in some of the Resilient 911 professional books to be given away as well. So we're going to let the wheel spin and decide what we're giving away. All right. So the first giveaway is going to be one of the Resilient 911 professional books donated by 911 Training Institute and Ryan Dedmon. He will be on later as one of my guests, but we're going to spin the wheel and see who won the book. Don't mind me taking notes just to make sure I don't lose who's getting all the books. Christy Joe will get you in contact with Ryan in order to get your copy of that book. I believe this was entered on Facebook, so I'll message you there. Awesome. Okay, if anyone is wanting, again, to throw their name in the hat for our giveaways at any point during this live broadcast, we're going to be doing it throughout the show with multiple guests. So go ahead and start throwing your name and what you're streaming on so I can make sure to add your name to the giveaway pool. Again, we're going to be giving away a lot of goodies over the next hour and a half or so. So definitely make sure to throw your name in if you're listening and haven't entered already in another way through Facebook or Instagram, so on and so forth. Hey, Mel, thank you so much watching on Facebook from work in northern Minnesota. Okay, I went to school in Forest City, Iowa, for college for 2 years. So if you know or heard of Waldorf University in Little Forest City, Iowa, it's about 2 hours from Minnesota. I would fly into there all the time to make the trek down to my college. At my first winter out there in the Midwest, it was negative 32 degrees, and they did not put that in the pamphlet when I was being recruited. So shout out to the Midwest folks out there. I spent a lot of good years in the Midwest, in Minnesota and Iowa. So I'm glad you are joining us from there. Bree, congratulations on passing your critical test. I'm so glad you found the information helpful. Honestly, like I said in the beginning of this podcast episode, that this is the reason I started the Raspy Dispatcher. I went into law enforcement. I went and got my degrees in administration of justice because I wanted to go into law enforcement, and higher education in administration of justice prepares you to be a cop. It prepares you to go into patrol. It does not prepare you for dispatch. We didn't even talk about dispatch, which is a huge disservice, which is why I created the informational videos you can find on our YouTube channel. And I'm so glad, Bree, that you made it through that part of the process and are moving forward. And I'm sending nothing but good vibes already through the rest of your process. I hope it runs smoothly. Awesome, Regina. Welcome. I actually have never done a live broadcast on LinkedIn. And when I was starting to get this going, I was like, oh, I might as well go on LinkedIn too. So I'm so happy that you're tuning in from LinkedIn. Oh, there's Ryan dropping in. Ryan, you heard that. Maybe you haven't heard yet, but we have already given away one of the awesome books 911 Training Institute has donated. So thank you so much for that. And again, folks who are just turning in, I'm sure we're going to get more people as the hour goes. We're going to be doing giveaways throughout this live broadcast. So just throw your name into the chat and what you're streaming from. And if you're not already on the list, I will add your name to the list as we continue to do giveaways throughout this live recording. Awesome. Streaming from YouTube. Okay, I love, like I said earlier, I love seeing that folks are tuning in from YouTube. Obviously, we have a huge following on YouTube. We actually just hit over 5,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel this month. And so we love YouTube. We appreciate folks who are tuning in from there. That is the hub of where all of our really content for our aspiring dispatchers out there can find practice videos, informational videos, all that good stuff. And we're in the process of updating a lot of those videos. As you all know, I still work full time as a dispatcher. I go into shift after this live stream. So I'm with you guys. I've been there. I know the struggle of just still being human outside of our day shift. So thank you all so much for joining me for this live episode. Hi, Jess, all the way from Lincoln, Nebraska. I just went out to Lincoln, Nebraska recently to record some footage out there at their comm center. Awesome folks out there. Thank you so much for having me. I really had a blast out there with you guys. All right, it looks like our first guest is in the back room. Let me just throw a couple more names here in the giveaway list. Hi, John, streaming from YouTube and from New York. Awesome. Throwing your name on the giveaway list to make sure that you're thrown in there. Again, if you have not added your name before the live and you're listening, throw it in the chat. Just let me know where you're streaming from so I can make sure to give you your prize when you do win. All right, everybody. So our first guest is the creator of Hello911 LLC. She spent over 18 years working in 911 until recently leaving for the private sector. She has coined the phrase that everyone is a hero when you're saving lives. My guest, Dominique Mathis. Hi, Dominique.
Hi.
How are you?
I am doing great, honey. How are you?
I am doing so well. We're just out here giving away stuff, celebrating 100 episodes. Thank you so much for being willing to jump on here with me.
Absolutely. I would not have missed it for the world. Thank you for having me. Yes, thank you.
For the folks who maybe haven't tuned in and seen you before, just tell them a little bit about yourself and what you got going on at Hello911.
All right, guys. So I'm Dominique Mathis from South Florida, going into almost my 20th year now in 911. Definitely been an honor, definitely been a pleasure. Like as she said, everyone is a hero when you're saving lives. So I truly believe that the people that are answering the call are doing something that other people simply cannot do. And that is saving lives every day. Definitely, like Ashley said, I'm over in the private sector. And I'm also the founder of Hello911, which we do training and consultant for public safety telecommunications. So definitely been a pleasure to have started that. Thank you to everyone who has supported and to those who are just now coming on board. But you know what, Raspy? I will say you have been my #1 supporter from day one. So it's definitely a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. The feeling is so mutual. In fact, our episode, me and you, our first episode together aired July 13th of 2022.
Wow.
Can you believe how much time really flies? It's about to be June in 2024.
Yes. Wow. That's a long time. And it's crazy. I remember
Right?
where I was. I was actually in San Antonio, Texas at the time. And my son's basic training graduation. So yes, I remember that. Wow. Look how far you've come.
Oh my God, look how far we've come, girl. I mean, it's been a journey. And if you folks have not followed Dom, on the socials, definitely check her out and follow her there. Check out her website, Hello911 LLC. She's doing wonderful things. And truly, as I just said, was on a podcast episode where we was real brand new, we were, the whole layout looked different. I mean, the growth is exceptional.
And that's what it's about, right? It's about seeing each other grow. And I think it's also, knowing to see how far you've come over the last 2-3 years.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen the growth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's been a phenomenal evolution to see. And I'm so, so proud of you. Many don't make it to this milestone, but you're doing it. You're teaching, you're showing us, that there is life outside of the console to show the world who we are as people. And most importantly, the important job that we do every single day. So thank you.
Awesome. Well, one of our listeners, I love this live aspect, right? Because people get to throw stuff in the comments and we get to interact with them. But Myra says, "Hi, Dominique. I always love to hear from fellow dispatchers with the years of training. I would love to hear some tips for trainees in the control room training. I need all the tips I can get."
Absolutely, Myra. And thank you for that. Do I answer that now? Do I answer
Please,
that?
yeah, let's do it.
So I do a course called the 911 Training Blueprint, where I basically go over different methodologies to actually teaching adults, right? We try to keep it in a box a lot of times to say, oh, we only have to train what we know in the center, right? Based off of what we may read in some training books. But it's always about connecting with the learner. That is the most important thing. Every trainee is not the same, and you must treat them as such. And it's also about thinking outside of the box ways to improve their training if you see some lack of deficiencies. But I think most important is connecting with your trainee. That is the most important thing. And you have to start that from day one. Not saying you guys are going to be besties, but I think it's very important to be able to understand exactly who you're going to be with, for the next couple weeks, the next year. Mm-hmm. So connecting with your trainee first, I would say is #1. And I think #2 is making sure that, have the foundation that you can actually train this person, right? Sometimes we want to be trainers, but sometimes we lack the knowledge. So always be open to expanding your knowledge as well when it comes to training.
It's so true, especially as a trainee, as Myra said, she's the trainee in this situation, is that sometimes you're not going to get along with your trainer. Okay.
Yes,
Sometimes
yes,
people are going to people, and understanding that when you feel like things are overwhelming, like I'm not getting it, I'm just constantly getting critiqued. It just feels like you're drowning in a sense, that
yes,
snowball effect. That's normal. And it's just kind of by design. This is such a unique line of work that we
yes.
train in that you're gonna feel that. There's no one in the history of dispatch training who went through this process and was like, this is easy, I got this.
Absolutely. And I read this wrong, and I'm sorry, Myra. You are the trainee, so I'm so sorry for that. So I will say, number one, be your biggest advocate, right?
Mm.
If something is not going right in your training, don't be afraid to speak up. Most of the times I've noticed trainees are afraid to have the conversation because they don't want to be, called that complainer girl, complainer guy. But let me tell you, your jobs are on the line most of the time. So if there's something that's not right in your training from the beginning, please do not be afraid to say so. Again, it's not what you say, it's how you say it, and being open to those conversations with your trainer. And most importantly, your first point of contact in your center, which could be like your training coordinator or your manager, but be an advocate for yourself. It's very important.
Awesome. We create our centers, and sometimes you have to ask questions, and you have to make your management, make your trainers, make your supervisors answer things and
Mhm.
look at what's going on, because we create our departments, we create our centers, and we want to make sure that everyone feels heard and
Yes,
felt and empowered. Um,
absolutely.
for those folks who are just jumping on here, I'm here with Dom, Hello911, and we are going to do a giveaway here shortly. So if you have not entered the giveaway and want to do so, all you have to do is throw your name in the chat and just let me know where you're streaming from,
Mhm.
so I can make sure to find you after the fact to give you your prize. So we are going to share this screen here. And Ryan chimed in here. Dom is the best, and everyone needs to go follow her at Hello911. I
Ryan
concur.
is my baby. Hi, Ryan.
Ryan is wonderful. He will
Yes.
be on the show later. 911 Training Institute donated some books. We just gave away a book. So we are going to figure out what we're giving away now. So let's take a look.
Well, you know what, Ashley, since I wonder, is it possible I can stick myself in there? I would love to
Oh,
give one of your listeners a hero tea.
oh my gosh. Yes, let's do it.
Yes, let's
Okay.
do it.
So we'll do hero tea.
Okay.
Okay, we'll do 2 raffles right now. And again, if you are just tuning in, your name hasn't been added here, go ahead and throw it in the chat. We'll give it a second. Just let me know where you're streaming from in order to get you some giveaways. We're going to spin twice here, Dom, with giving a hero tea, which I believe you're wearing one today, right? I noticed that.
Yes, I'm wearing one. I'm wearing the color in gray. We have them in gray, royal blue, red, and black. But again, that's based off of what I have in stock. But yes,
Mhm.
this is the hero tea here. Everyone is a hero when you're.
Ah,
Yes. So that is the slogan. That's what I live by. And you guys are heroes.
awesome. All righty. We are going to go ahead and spin the wheel and
All
see
right.
what hero gets the goods. We'll do the sticker pack first.
Drum roll or
Drum roll.
let's see. Who do we have?
Karen McKenna, who I believe was on Facebook. If you're listening live, I am writing it down now. We'll get your address and get you a sticker pack here in the next week or so. And then next up, Dom has graciously donated a hero tea. Everyone is a hero when you're saving lives. let's see who is grabbing that.
Let's see who is the lucky winner.
It's actually going to be Trey.
Oh no. Oh no. What are the odds? Hi, Trey. Oh my God. What are the odds? See, us Florida people do it better.
That's right. Look at us.
And I said to myself, I'm like, that Instagram name looks very familiar.
Right?
I love it.
Is wonderful. He actually posted along with Cassie on LinkedIn, just, congratulating us on the 100th episode, and just being really supportive of what we're doing here,
Yes.
which is wonderful.
Yes,
oh, hey, Jillian. We're out here with you folks live for our 100th episode of Let's Talk Dispatch podcast.
Yes.
Hopefully you guys are enjoying the giveaway, enjoying the stuff. If you're just tuning in, make sure to throw your name into the group chat so we can add you to the list in order to get you some free goodies.
That's right.
Dom, so Hello911 does some amazing things. How can folks connect with you to bring training into their center, to bring the consulting you do into their center?
So many ways, honestly. I think number one is probably contacting me via the website, which is www.hello-911.com. Another way to reach me is through email, which is Dominique Mathis, which you see my name on the screen, at hello-911.com. I'm on Instagram. I'm on LinkedIn. Honestly, it's just me. So with that being said, right, no matter what platform you reach out to me on, I am there. I'm looking forward to some training coming up. I'm actually speaking at a conference Wednesday.
Okay.
I'll be in Dallas, Texas. I'm speaking at the conference for crimes against women.
Wow.
So my first time speaking at this conference, and I'm talking about, our voices in public safety. And what does it mean to women when they call 911? Because it's a scary statistic floating around right now where 71% of women of domestic violence said if they had another option other than to call the police, another resource, they will utilize the other resource. So, I think a lot of times we play a role in that, in their experience when they call us. So how can we make it a better experience for women who may be calling because they've been assaulted, sexually assaulted, physically assaulted. It could have been a robbery, shooting, a stabbing, whatever. Yeah. So how can we make the experience when women call 911 a more, I won't say desirable, but make them feel comfortable with calling us?
Yeah. I mean, how do we take a hard conversation, which is basically a trauma, a crime, a, thing that you have to say out loud to a stranger, essentially, and make that a experience where they feel comfortable to be vulnerable, with us. I remember taking a, DV. I think DVs are probably a call we all as dispatchers have taken. We've all talked to many victims, both, male and female, even non-binary. And one constant theme I feel that I've heard is like, I don't want them to get in trouble. I just want them to stop hurting me.
Yes.
And all you can really do is like empower, like you're taking the first step. You're taking the first step in hopefully making sure that they no longer have the access to you to harm you in this moment. And, we have people we talk to multiple times, same address, same folks involved. And it takes, I don't know what the actual statistic is, but I know it takes like 3, 4, 5, 6 times for someone to successfully leave.
Yes. And I think it's very important that you say that, because we have the frequent flyers who call all the time, and we discredit them sometimes when they call. But then that final, like you said, 6, 7 time that it actually happened, they want police to respond for real. We take it lightly. It's just another typical call. Sarah's calling in because, Mike abused her, right? So it's also for us to make sure that we are not biased when we're handling the frequent flyers. It's hard. I know, right? but it's also educating our folks, but also educating others about exactly, you know, what it is that we can do to help them.
It's true. And I mean, we have to be knowledgeable of our own burnout, our own compassion fatigue, our own, you know, things that come with the job, because
Yes.
this might be your first time calling, but this might be the sixth DV that I've talked to today,
Up
you
to date.
know,
Yes.
and that's tough. We have to manage those feelings for us as well.
Yes.
Management should be aware of those amount of calls that we're taking, and
Yes.
you know, and that's something that our management can be vigilant and helpful with. When able, just know when someone's getting hammered with like the same type of calls over and over again. It can be rough, especially in one shift.
It definitely is. And, you know, since it's May, you know, Mental Health Awareness Month, I'm glad that you talked about that, right? Because we have to constantly, you know, consistently work on our mental health and public safety, right? We're being subjected to so many calls every single day that, you know, the average person would not hear. So it's very important to, you know, work on us at the same time when we're helping others, because, you know, most of the time we're struggling, we're drowning. Like you said, someone else may not notice it, but it's important for you to understand your own, you know, emotional intelligence, right? Knowing how you feel and how that's going to impact others. Because, yeah, it's a tough job, guys, and everyone can't do it, because if they could, they would, right?
Yeah, no, and it's so true. And I think for like the trainees who are listening, for even for dispatchers who've been doing this forever, like understand that you never know when the thing is gonna bother you. You never know when something's gonna impact you. And maybe you've gone 20 years and never felt the type of way about a call. And then the 21st year, you're like, every call is bothering me. That's okay. We just need to be okay with finding someone to talk to, finding folks to share our stories and help give us tools to, you know, keep operating the way we do.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Again, for everyone who is tuning in, please feel free to drop any questions you may have in the comment section. We are live here recording our 100th episode of Let's Talk Dispatch podcast. We have Dom here for about another 10 minutes or so. So if you do have questions, please feel free to throw it in the chat. If you are just tuning in and you want to be entered to win one of our giveaways, make sure to just let me know your name and what you're streaming from so we can get you some good stuff.
I'm with you, Ashley. Guys, if you got any questions, comments, this is the time, right? It is Saturday. It's 6:02 in the East Coast, which means it's getting a little dark out here to us. But most importantly, it's a pleasure to be here. I know, Ashley, you're always on the other end where you're asking people questions, right? What if we wanted to ask you a question?
Well, I guess. What's up? Hit me.
All right, let's get it. So for those that are new to your platform, right, they may not know your story. They may not know your journey. But what made you desire to start the Raspy Dispatcher?
You know, I had a wonderful experience in my training at the Sacramento Police Department. That's the original agency that I worked for. And it just goes to show how important a trainer is for anyone's career. It doesn't mean that everyone's going to go out there and do some wild stuff like this and make podcasts and videos and whatnot. But because I had such a good experience in training, I felt really empowered to continue to help push the message and push people into this line of work as a 911 dispatcher. And after going through my academy, going through, about 18 months of training between call taking and radio, I just kind of look back at my academy experience and my education, because I got my degrees in criminal justice, and was really disappointed when I realized we never talked about dispatch. You know, we talked corrections, we talked probation, we talked patrol, we talked, FBI, all these like subsets of law enforcement, but we never talked about the folks who answer the calls and talk directly to the victims. And I felt that was a big disservice and something we should be talking about, because when you're an 18, 19-year-old, 20-year-old kid in college and you think you know what you want
You
in
have no
life, and
idea.
let me tell you, you don't.
You do not.
It's good to know all the options that are available
Yes.
in the line of work that you're interested in. And so that's kind of how the Rosby Dispatcher was born.
I love that. So that's very interesting.
Yeah.
So I know it took a lot of hard work and dedication, right? What was the number one learning experience it has been? Because what year did you start Raspy Dispatcher?
Gosh, I would say, so our podcast was 2022, our episode, probably end of 2020, going into 2021 is probably when it started really with the YouTube channel.
So what has been your greatest moment, and what has been your least favorite moment? Right? And what's the lesson that you learned behind both experiences as an entrepreneur at the Raspy Dispatcher?
I think there's a level of wanting to do everything.
Yes.
And do everything quickly, or everything at the pace that other people are doing it.
Right.
And sometimes you have to really look and reel yourself back in and realize, like, there's room for all of us, right? And I don't have to run at Dom's pace. Dom doesn't have to run at my pace. And regardless, I'm going to help at least one person. Right. You know, when I first started the Raspy Dispatcher, I had one follower, right? Like me. And then, you know, you start putting out stuff, you start figuring out what it is you want to do with it, and that changes. And then now we've grown to almost 4,000 followers on Instagram, almost 5,000 on Facebook, 5,000 on YouTube. But that takes time, right? Yeah.
And most importantly, say to be consistent, right?
Yes.
You have definitely nailed that, right? You have been consistent since day one, especially with the content. You keep yourself active, you keep yourself relevant, which is a great thing, right? Yeah. And I think most importantly, we believe in your vision, right? How many people have thought about critical, right? We know it's a requirement for the job, but what about the public who are coming in? Yeah. Right? I remember myself doing the job fairs where there were 3,000 and 4,000 people showing up to a job fair. And I used your website your YouTube page as a resource.
Yes.
Because it was very informative. And for me, it was preparing the applicants. So if anyone's on here live that you guys, you know, are going out to recruiting events, and people may have questions about critical testing, interview panels, like seriously provide the Raspy Dispatcher's YouTube as a resource. It has helped so many people I know actually prepare for the, you know, the application process. And it doesn't leave you with a doubt, right? It's for myself speaking on several interview panels, and people had no idea what they were applying for, right? And for me, it's like, okay, so why are we here, right? But again, some would mention in the interview process, yeah, I went on this, you know, YouTube page, I looked it up, I think it was called the Raspy or something like that. And again, it's like, you're way on the West Coast, but this is happening here in South Florida. So we believe in your vision. Like you said, you start off with one follower, but it's most importantly believing in yourself, right? That confidence, and you've done it. Like, you're not saying you've done it, you're doing it. Present tense. You're making it happen, right? The voice to see, again, I am proud of, like, I'll say it again, like, I am proud of your growth, right? Like, man, and anything I asked from then, like, hey, I'm doing this, what was it, Hispanic Heritage Month. Can you give me a shout out? And man, you did it, right? And for me, it was like, shoot, this young lady doesn't even know me, but look at this. And it's grown. So your heart is beautiful. Honestly, it's an honor to be here on this platform today. Like, I couldn't have said no, right? I made sure I, you know, allocated this time just for you, because you're dope, man. Don't forget that. Like,
man, thank you. I mean, and honestly, it's what I think one of the greatest parts of the podcast specifically is getting able to connect and talk to folks like you, folks who are taking their lived experience in this industry and creating something out of it, creating Hello 911, creating the slogan that everyone's a hero when we're saving lives, trying to put us all on the same first responder platform that we all deserve to be on in the line of work that we're doing. And I just, as we exit, as I kick you out in preparation for the next wonderful guests that we have coming on, I just do want to say thank you, Dom, so much for all the love, all the support for me, for this movement from day one, as well as your continued efforts in supporting the heroes under the headset through Hello 911.
Absolutely. And thank you again for having me here. Happy Saturday to you guys. Again, follow me on social media, Instagram _Hello911, where sometimes I post things, right, that's happening with 911. Not sometimes, all the time, but I'm not as consistent as the Raspy. So again, happy Saturday, you guys. Thank you, Ashley, for having me here. Whatever it is that you need, please let me know.
Thank you so much, Dom, and I'll see you later.
All right. Bye, guys.
All right, everybody who are just tuning in, thank you so much for jumping on our first live recording of a podcast episode for Let's Talk Dispatch podcast, our 100th episode. You guys are amazing. And one thing I forgot to mention that I noted to mention while Dom was here is that as of today, this, our 100th episode, we have amassed over 27,000 plus downloads and streams. Over 15,000 of that is on our regular everyday audio platform podcast, like traditional, and the rest are folks who are watching on YouTube. So you guys are definitely tuning in, listening to all of these wonderful people who are jumping on this podcast, sharing their stories with me, sharing their tidbits with you. And I really appreciate it. We're going to be bringing on our next guest here shortly. And if you are just tuning in, you can throw your name into the chat. I will make sure to add you to our giveaways. Just let me know where you are actually streaming from so I can make sure to get it out to you and get your address information when we do those giveaways. All right, our next guest has well over 10 plus years of experience in 911 under their belt. They are a huge advocate for wellness for dispatchers and has taken their real life experience as a dispatcher who did the work to take care of themselves into the private sector with an awesome company called Mindbase. My guest today, Cassie. Hey, Cassie!
Hi.
Hello. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh. Thanks for being willing to come on. I am just going to be adding some names here. Hi, Lori from North Carolina. I'm going to throw your name in the giveaway here. I feel like you're moved. You're all settled in. You went from LA to the
North
East
Carolina.
Oh.
Yep. I'm in North Carolina too now.
Oh my gosh. How is that going?
It is a whole different world. I love it. I jokingly tell people I bought my 2 wiener dogs a house with a yard and a fence. Right? And I apologize in advance. I'm getting over a cold. So, I'm really trying to match your raspy dispatcher.
Yeah, I was like, no worries, baby. We love the raspy out here,
Right. So, so I'm settled in. I've been here for 2 months, actually this weekend. And man, talk about moving from a drought state. Like it rains here a lot. So I'm getting used to that. It's summer, or it feels summer here. It's warm and it's rainy and it's green, and I love it.
So what I'm hearing is that you miss the LA smog. Is that what I
miss the pollution and I miss In and Out. I can't say that I miss Ryan because he was just here, so I'll need like a couple more days, and then I know he's listening, so I'm gonna heckle him in my good old best friend fashion. But I'll miss him in about a week again, so we'll see.
Amazing.
He just left from our conference, so I got some
Oh my
good quality
gosh.
best friend time.
So wonderful.
I'm in Alamance County.
Okay, I was like, do you see it too? I don't know
Yeah,
how
I
it
see it. I
works.
saw it. Mhm.
Awesome. Well, it's wonderful that, what I love also about our platforms is that just being able to connect with so many people. Some folks said they were watching from New York, from, Nebraska, from North Carolina. I mean, it's just so wonderful for a profession where you can feel really isolated and really like no one gets it. It's nice that we can come together in these virtual spaces and connect.
Yeah, I love that. And especially where like I was listening from when you started and talking to
Mhm.
Dom and everything. And when you were talking about how we initially were all on the podcast together and to think
Yes,
about how long ago that was is so insane to me. But
right?
also like you created that, right? And then that group of us that was originally on your podcast, with the exception to Ryan and I, because we were friends before,
Mhm.
you created this little tribe that has now continued this network. And we've continued that. Like Dom and I, anytime we are at a show together, we connect and see each other and have stayed in touch, and Halcyon and a couple other people. And so being able to create this group of network of people that we all can support each other, I love that too, because I like that connection and being able to see that we all have initially connected from 911, but
Mhm.
also those of us that have moved on to the private sector, we have different specialties
Yeah.
per se. And so we all, it was something you were just saying too. It was like that you want to do everything, and I want to do everything and do it well, right? But the fact is that I can't do everything and do it well. I'm a specialty in wellness, and so I do wellness really well. And I know Dom does certain things really well, training, consulting, and she really specializes that. You have your specialty, and so it's same thing as Dom. Like anytime I have someone who's coming into the industry, I'm like, Raspy Dispatcher, here you go. Because while I want to mentor everyone, I simply don't have the bandwidth to do that, because my bandwidth is full of wellness and helping people and peer support teams and wellness. So I'm
Mhm.
like, I have someone who can help you. So
Yeah.
come over here. And so I really love that, like, it has essentially given us this network of professionals and
Mhm.
friends and a tribe that has
Yes.
given us, like, hold on, let me Rolodex and find out who I need to send you to, who is a
Mhm.
specialty of that.
Mhm. It is so true because I feel like a lot of people, one of the great things about these platforms is that I get to meet people who do and specialize in so many different things, right? Like I just did a podcast episode with another person from 911 Training Institute that's going to be airing this coming week, Tyrone, who
Mm,
specializes in DEI stuff. And we had this wonderful conversation about, diversity, equity, inclusion, and creating that in our centers, and so on and so forth. But I'm not going to be the person to
right.
train or, give that feedback to centers and consult. But if someone reaches out, I can direct them to Tyrone and 911 Training Institute because we've made these connections. If someone's looking for wellness, I can send them to, Mindbase and Cassie and so on and so forth. And it's such a wonderful thing to have someone bring a problem and have someone who could potentially help with a solution or at least tools to head in the right direction,
Yeah, I love that so much.
It's really is crazy. Let me look at my little notes here. Um, but like I said, one of the favorite things that we do here at the Recipe Dispatcher is creating this community that we're talking about. And we have a private Facebook group. If you are listening and not aware and haven't heard of it, it's called the Let's Talk Dispatch podcast, not podcast, Let's Talk Dispatch Facebook group by the same name of our podcast. And it is a wonderful little community that's heading on to almost getting to the 1,000 mark of people in it. And what I love about it is that it's a place for not only current dispatchers, but aspiring dispatchers. So we have trainees in there asking questions. We have aspiring dispatchers who are still going through the process asking questions. And we get folks like me and you, Dom, Ryan, who have experience and can pour into these people and really give them constructive, positive feedback. And it's just such a wonderful thing.
Yeah, and there's comments in there. I'll cruise in there every once in a while, and there's been such a variety of great questions in there. And it's really amazing to see everyone kind of come together to support everyone.
And it's so wonderful for me to see. It's so wonderful, the questions that get thrown in there, because then it gives me ideas to put content back out there for folks. Questions that I might not find relevant, 6 years in, that a trainee is like, hello, what is the answer to this? It really creates a ground for people to get content, answer questions, and, give back to this community.
Absolutely.
So Cassie, tell us a little bit about Mindbase and what you guys got going on over there, and what are the things that people can maybe bring into their centers?
Yeah, of course. So I work for a wellness company, and essentially we're a technology that's really forward thinking. What I love about it is it's proactive. We help enable wellness teams and peer support teams and agencies catch people before they fall into the river, is what I call it. We integrate with CAD and RMS and export only data into the system. And what I call it is it's a CAD for peer support. It lets you know critical calls, when to debrief them. It lets you know your agency members, they move to a suggested check-in list as they cumulatively stack calls on them. And it doesn't have to be those high-level critical calls. It might be the middle of the road calls. I heard you mention earlier that calls affect people differently, right? And it may not be the call, it may not be the first time that you take the call. It may be the 5th time or 6th or 7th, or it may not be the first year that you take it. It may be the 7th year, and it may just be sometime random. So you never really know how calls are starting to affect people, right? Like it may be different for everyone. And also you don't really realize the personal impact it has on someone. So hitting a certain kind of threshold that each individual agency sets will move that person to a suggested check-in list, and not say that anything's wrong with them, but just say, hey, you might want to check on them because they've had a heavy load lately. And this really is a proactive model for peer support to go check in on their people before that person needs to raise their hand for help, right?
Yeah. And I think I mentioned this to Dom when she was on, is like, management kind of being aware of our portfolio, our call volume that we're receiving. If I take, three DVs, 4 DVs, 5 DVs in a day, like that's a lot, and having technology be able to alert higher ups who of course have things going on and have other things they should be focused on as well, but really taking care of our people and giving supervisors tools to be alerted is wonderful.
And it really is like a snapshot. And I mean, I'm giving a very high level overview, but that suggested check-in list, and even before they move to that list, you can essentially go in and see a very large snapshot of that person's call volume, and color coded like impact levels, as far as like, this is a critical call, high level, medium, like prioritized, and you can see what that person is dealing with and check on them. And the peer support team can log their activity, and it's not who they're checking on, but what, as far as topics. Now, coming from someone from the training realm and working in behavioral health in between 911 and working for Mindbase, I was like, we're training on stress and suicide prevention and wellness, but no one's talking about our elderly parents getting ill or missing out on our children's activities or stress like that in specifically. And now we're going into agencies and seeing that their top 5 stressors include that. And I'm like, well, we should be creating classes around these specific issues or content around it, and really like honing in on what these agencies need. So that really allows us to come in with our clinician teams saying, hey, clinicians, let's talk about this. And it has made a really big impact on these agencies to be able to customize their wellness like care for them.
Yeah.
And so being able to see that it's not just the generic stressors, but there's actual what's underneath there has been a big change. And that's the more of the dashboard portal. There's also a wellness app that comes with it. It's for the members of their whole agency, retirees, and their family members. It comes with personalized content. Their peer support team and clinical care, if they have that, will build in their resources. And when I say that, that means it's like for here in North Carolina, it's our North Carolina resources. In California, Bay Area gets their Bay Area resources. They're not going to be getting stuff from Florida. Like they're getting stuff there. It's not cookie cutter solutions for everyone. It's very customizable. And then some of the other cool features that are highlighted for me is that you can do an anonymous check-in request from the app that communicates to the dashboard for peer support saying, hey, I use my motors as an example at my agency. I knew every day at 7 a.m. they would go and have breakfast quick, but together, a team unity thing. If one of them stopped showing up to breakfast, that would be a red flag to me. And if I was in motor with them and someone stopped showing up, that might be cause enough for a couple of days to say, hey, peer support, can you go check on John?
Yeah.
And so I don't need to go like snitch on him per se, but I can type in the app, John isn't showing up. He's being evasive or isolating. Can someone go check on him? And you don't even have to say that much. You can just say acting different, check on whatever. And it doesn't show my name. It doesn't show any details. And that goes into the dashboard. My peer support leader can assign it to me or whoever to check on him. And there you go. And so it's anonymous check-in. And I can even refer myself. If I don't want to raise my hand because I'm scared, I can put someone check on Cassie. She's acting different and peer support will come check on me.
And I feel like, and for those who are just turning in, we're talking about the software, the technology at Mindbase that you can bring into your department that's super customizable and really puts the emphasis on the folks who are doing this work. What I love about what you're describing with your guys' software is the accessibility factor of it. And that I think the hardest part for a lot of people is that initiation, is having to do the work to find the help. And if we can create systems and access and information that's easily accessible to our first responders, they're going to be more likely to go get the help. If I'm already like feeling down, I already am dealing with all these things, and then I got to work extra hard to find some type of help, like
resources.
It's not going to be
I
great.
don't want to go Google a bunch of resources. Right? Like, I mean, if we're being completely transparent, you're at the rock bottom. The most overwhelming thing possible is type in a therapist, a resource, a treatment center. Like, that's the last thing you should have to do is go into Google or wherever and go, I need help.
Yeah.
Like, you shouldn't have to do that.
Yeah. Especially in our centers, these things should be set up and should be easily accessible. They should work with our insurances. It should be a very seamless process to make sure that we're taking care of each other. And it sounds like you guys are really making strides, if not leading in that implementation with your software at Mindbase.
Yes. And the last thing that I'll like really touch on for that is I want to make sure that people know that it's not about taking the people connection out of it at all. I know that sometimes that misnomer gets out there that technology is there to replace the people, and it's not. It's about using it as a tool. The phrase that our team uses is we're getting the team out of the dugout and onto the playing field. And it's about using it to push everyone out to make those people-to-people connections and to help encourage that. It's not in any way replacing clinicians or replacing peer support or anything ever. It is simply a resource. Like, to me, I carry around a 9-page PDF at all times with resources in it for anyone that ever needs it. And I mean, anyone that's seen me at a conference, it's on every back page of my trauma session. Like, I make sure no one ever has to raise their hand for help and doesn't have it. But I mean, that's essentially what these are, is is a resource packet, but with so much more, and it connects you to people. And that's the goal, is that you're getting people to people contact, because I mean, the foundation of suicide attempts is feeling like a burden, having the capability to do it, and then also like the worthlessness, right? And we don't ever want anyone to not have a contact or a connection, because that just furthermore is that spiral.
Exactly. And for those who are just tuning in, we're here with Cassie, Mindbase, good friend, unpaid model for the Raspy Dispatcher.
Yes,
always repping my stuff. And this guy right here in the chat, Ryan, always
unpaid solicitor.
Also unpaid solicitor for sure. If you are still with us live, thank you so much for joining us for this recording of our 100th episode. We're gonna do a giveaway. We're gonna do a few giveaways right now. If you have not entered the giveaway, throw your name in the chat with the streaming platform you are streaming from. I will add your name to the list. We've given away 3 things so far. We're going to give away a few more right here, right now. Cassie, I feel like you own all the things that Raspy has.
I saw my name on there and I'm like, I don't need anything. I have all of the
I know,
things.
but you follow the rules. You
selfish taking anything.
Okay. Well, if Cassie wins, we're not going to give her anything. But what is your favorite sticker or favorite merch that we have available?
Well, so actually I don't have the new pin that you just put out, so
Hey.
I'm excited about that. But I will say, I'm like, my favorite sticker is so my favorite stuff is the traditional because shirt, obviously, in the sticker. I have that on everything. So that will be my traditional favorite forever.
Oh, awesome. I mean, it's one of the things, like when you're like creating a brand or you're creating, stuff that really pushes the message you're trying to get across, and my why, right? Like, why am I doing this? Because the world needs more dispatchers. And it kind of came so naturally. It's such a simple statement, right? Like, we need more dispatchers, but it has really turned into such a wonderful movement and phrase that I think people really connect with.
I mean, to the point where I did professional headshots and I wore the shirt, right? For some of them, and then now it's become my main headshot that I use, and to the point they put it on our Mindbase website. I don't know if you've seen that. It recently went up, and I'm like, oh, they used the Raspy. They didn't use my professional one in my business one. They used the Raspy one, and I'm like, that's fine. Like, I'm good with that.
Hey, I will take it. If you guys want to take pictures in. Oh, we got another book. Let's see. We're going to be giving away another book.
I personally read it. It is really, and not just because Ryan's my best friend, but it is really an amazing book.
Oh my gosh. I do have my copy. I'm probably about halfway through it, if I'm honest. I have an issue with not finishing books quickly enough for my liking. But it's such a good book. It has so much relative information for dispatchers. We're not like lumped in with other first responder services. It is for us, by us. Like, it's a wonderful thing.
It just, those things don't exist very much. So it's so when you find those little gems, you have to hold on.
Exactly. All right. Because lanyard. So these are new. Cassie does not own this one either. They actually, I haven't got them physically in my hand. They're supposed to be here in the next couple days. But they say, because the world needs more dispatchers on it. So when we do have that in hand this week, we'll send that out to whoever this winner is going to be. We'll do one more. We'll do 3 giveaways here with Cassie.
Ooh,
And we will do another sticker pack. Okay, perfect. So we'll head over to the wheel of names here. And again, if you are listening live and you haven't been entered into the giveaway, please feel free to throw your name in the chat, and I will make sure to add you to our list. All right. Let's see. The first one we're going to give away is this wonderful book donated by 911 Training Institute. And our next guest, Ryan, let's see who gets one home. The drama with it, like,
I know, I was like, well, that was really close. Hey,
Amy, you are going to be getting a copy of this book. I will connect you with Ryan, who will send that out to you. Thank you so much. All right, next up is going to be a Because lanyard.
It gets so slow, and then
I know, it's so drama. John R., who was tuning in from YouTube earlier. John, if you're still here, you have won a Because lanyard, and I will do my best to connect with you to get that to you. And last but certainly not least, we're going to do a sticker pack.
Oh yeah, John's still on. Excellent.
Awesome, John. Congratulations. And John, if you do follow me on socials, feel free to send me a DM and we'll connect with you as well and get you this stuff. For the sticker pack, Amy Silva.
Yay, Amy.
Woo, woo.
Yay. So many awesome prizes.
Oh my gosh, so many. It's so fun. I do love, you know me, I love a good giveaway. I love giving back to folks who, you know, support us here on our platforms with the podcast and all that good stuff. And one of the main reasons we go to vendor is, of course, to bring like our merch and, you know, simply fund our coming to the conferences. That's our merch does help us be able to go to more conferences and more events. But more importantly, it gives us the opportunity to tell the everyday dispatcher about the resources we have available at theraspydispatcher.com. Because one thing you don't realize until you get out there into these conference spaces is just how many dispatchers there really are, and who walk up and are like, I don't know, like what is this?
Yeah,
like,
that's always my favorite. They get there and they're like, so what are you?
What?
And I'm like, oh, okay, here we go. Ready?
Yeah.
And it, yeah.
Oh my gosh. But it's so wonderful. It's funny because obviously I have the raspy voice, and at these conferences I talk a lot and I love chatting with every single one of you. But my voice by the end of it is wrecked. So Claudia told me to get one of these. I guess teachers have them now. They're like a little speaker box that they like carry with them. So when they're teaching, it like it's like a little speaker. So you might see me at a next conference with my own little speaker box. So
it makes me think of like at the fairs and stuff, and they're like doing their little knife and like displays sales.
Yes.
Pots and pan sellers.
Oh my gosh. Well, where if folks are going to conferences, where are you guys up next? You know, if you know.
Gosh. So National NINA and National APCO is next.
Awesome.
National APCO. I think we have been on a whirlwind adventure. Like I think we just wrapped up with Virginia this week. Ryan Chambers was there. And so it looks like it will be nationals are next. And then that's where you'll find us. And then starts fall.
Oh, it's insane. The conference season, air quotes, is just, it's a whirlwind. We're going to be at Arizona, their local chapter next month with a booth. So if you folks are going to be there, come check us out. It's going to be a really good time.
I love that. I saw that you were going. Are you going to be at NINA and APCO this year?
It's still pending. To be quite honest, if we're gonna make it all the way to the nationals, I'm kind of bummed that they're both in the same location.
Yeah, I know
this
that's
year.
a universal feeling this year. And next year, Nina will be in Long Beach, I heard.
Oh,
So
definitely on there.
yeah, I know. That's why I was like, okay, back to the home front for that one. But
Yeah.
I had heard that from our upcoming president, so I was giving them some food recommendations. So I'll hopefully be back over that way. But
Awesome. Well, amazing. Again, everybody who is tuning in, Cassie, Mindbase, check them out. Check out their website. I'm sure there's a contact us or a demo or something like that available on the site so you can check out these awesome features that make it so we can check on our people, so we can continue helping people every day who call 911. And of course, Cassie, thank you for the ongoing support, the kudos, the constant posts, the constant wearing of our merch, and really repping what we do here. I am so thankful to have met you and truly appreciate it.
yeah, of course. And we're on all the social medias, and I'm on most of them as well. But thank you. I'm grateful for your friendship. And I mean, yeah, it wouldn't be the same without you. So
Aw, thank you so much. Well, that is Cassie, everybody. Virtual applause. What do we do? Like waves?
I don't know. Yeah. Thank you, though. It's been fun.
I'll
And
see you
enjoy
next
the
time.
rest of your 100th episode.
Woo woo. See ya.
Bye.
All right, everybody. That was Cassie. Again, Mindbase, a wonderful software company. One of the amazing things that happens when you create these virtual platforms is you get to meet folks like Dom. You get to meet folks like Cassie. And next up, you'll get to meet folks like Ryan, who do wonderful, amazing work for dispatchers who have been in the field as a dispatcher, who get it, who understand all of the nuances that come with our unique line of work. So we've given away a bunch of stuff so far. We are going to be giving away some more with my next guest, who has spent over 12 years of service as a 911 dispatcher and is the outreach director and instructor for 911 Training Institute. You will most likely find them at a conference near you, shaking hands, kissing babies, and most importantly, giving you lots of great information for your centers. My next and final guest for our 100th episode of Let's Talk Dispatch podcast, Ryan Dedmon. Hi, Ryan.
Hello, Raspy Dispatch.
How are you?
I am better than I deserve, ma'am. How are you? Oh, don't spit that up. Don't spit it up.
Wonderful. I am like we got to give the best friends the the back and forth here. Love it. I am wonderful. I'm having such a wonderful time recording this live episode. I've never done it before, as you know, because you have been, I feel like you might have been the second or third episode. I should have looked at that, but I didn't, of the Let's Talk Dispatch podcast. And I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like we had a conversation about like turning it into an actual podcast, because it really wasn't originally. It was just a YouTube segment. I was just putting it on my YouTube channel. And I feel like through our conversation, and again, I could be making this up, I'm getting old. My birthday's next month. But I feel like it kind of, whatever conversation we had kind of sparked a little bit of like, why aren't we just putting this out in audio format too?
Listen, I cannot remember what I did last week, let alone a couple of years ago when you started this and took your show on the road. So
Oh my God.
I do remember, though, I think it was LinkedIn where I first came across you. And for some reason, you kept popping up into my feed, which was really annoying, because I'm like, who is Ashley Valenzuela? And why do I end up seeing like everything that she likes and all that? But I was looking at some of your posts about giving people tools and resources and just general information about applying to be a public safety dispatcher. And I thought that was so awesome, because for the long time in the 911 industry, we've talked about the challenge of staffing and how do we do a better job of recruiting and how do we get people to solve the staffing problem. And the conversation has always been problem focused.
Yeah.
But you were one of the first where I thought, oh man, this lady's got it together because she ain't talking about the problem. She's coming up with a solution and she's trying to share that with everyone else, not just with people to apply, but then, you also kind of shifted towards giving agencies some, recommendations and tips on, hey, have you thought about doing this? Because the general public has these questions.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm like, I'll go ahead and connect with her.
And now you really can't get rid of me. You thought I was showing up on your feed before. Now I show up in your hometown. I make you take me to dinner. It's a whole police report. You know what I'm saying?
We have fun.
It really truly is, like I was saying earlier, so fun to connect with people who have been doing this, have been impacting the field. I learned so much from all three of the folks that I brought on today, but you and Cassie do a lot of conferences, do a lot of teaching together. And I think you both help other people who want to start sharing their stories and start sharing on topics that they feel may help impact a dispatch center, help them kind of figure out how to do that.
Yeah, Dom is an amazing human being and does all the conferences as well. And she's got much more of a subject matter expertise in training than I do. And I think, Cassie and I are just besties because we're just Southern California natives here and ran in a lot of the same circles. But then we both also accidentally kind of fell into the wellness arena, if you will, in helping first responders. And so, and then, part of the wellness discussion is, hey, let's have a conversation. Tell me what's going on and let's talk about the F word, feelings. And, public safety has never really done that before in the past. So that has also been a paradigm shift for fields of public safety, 911 included, fire, law, EMS, about talking about, the trauma and chronic stress that first responders are exposed to and the terrible impacts that can have if those impacts go unaddressed.
It's true. And there are just so many people who are now making it okay to have these conversations and highlighting the fact that it's real. It's real for anybody in the first responder field, especially dispatchers. We're just so unique in the way that we receive tough calls or deal with trauma in our line of work comparatively to like officers who go out onto a scene on a call. They might get stuck on that call for 6 hours, their whole shift, where I just took that call with that victim that you're out with, and now I'm talking to another victim, and now I'm talking to another victim, now I'm talking to another victim. It's just, it's a different way that we have to compartmentalize or sort through and adjust for just a shift comparative to our first responders who are in the field.
Yep. And, I was a police officer for a very short period earlier in my career. And, when you see the police officers in the parking lot of the donut shop or at 7-Eleven, they're not always just getting the snacks.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're strategically taking that time to try to diffuse whatever it is that they just handled, right? And to your point, they have the opportunity to do that in between some of the calls that they physically respond to, compared to dispatchers sitting in a comm center where, phone lines light up like a Christmas tree and you're just hitting that answer button next after next after next after next after next.
Yeah. And especially on any holiday that has fireworks involved.
Listen, I don't miss those days at all anymore.
Any firework holiday, I'm like, I'm good. I'm sick. I don't want to be here. It is just It's crazy. For folks who maybe don't know who you are, Ryan, don't know 911 Training Institute, maybe just tell us a little bit about what you guys got going on over there.
Oh, I have about 24 years of service in public safety. 12 of those years was on the government side, working in law enforcement. Short time as a police officer, and then as a dispatcher. And I retired as a police dispatcher in 2013. And so in the last 10 years, 11 years, I've been in the private sector of public safety, primarily in training roles. The 911 Training Institute is founded by Jim Marshall, who's a licensed mental health professional in the state of Michigan. And we are a very small private company that delivers training and consulting services to public safety agencies. But our subject matter expertise is all things mental health. That's what we like to focus on. So, other training companies do lots of other cool kinds of training classes and topics addressing various issues, but our subject matter expertise is mental health. So anything regarding stress management, resilience, and peer support for first responders. But then we also have various training that helps first responders respond to public calls for service when there's a mental health crisis. So we take that mental health topic and we apply it to first responders, but then we also apply it to the public. So things like we call emergency mental health dispatching, crisis intervention, things like that.
And it's so interesting. I had Jim on the podcast, and
just you did.
Yeah, I did. I had Jim on the podcast. What was the name of it? I love the name of it. I think it was Cut the Cookie Cutter Method. I think that's what I ended up calling it.
No cookie cutters, right?
And it was such a good time. I think my camera disconnected, Ryan. 1 second.
Yeah, your face is frozen. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it's a wonderful mug, but I think that my camera setting has never been on a stream for this long. So it's probably like, what are you doing, Ashley?
While you're fixing your camera, fix your mic because you're mute.
Oh, okay. All the things are happening. Wonderful. Ryan, you got this.
Just kidding. Okay, guys. Oh, man, it's a party now. Why did this not happen when Dom or Cassie were on? Because they would be so much better at handling this and improvising than I am. But anyways, hey, so if you're a listener and you haven't checked out Ashley's podcast, I highly recommend it because just like Cassie, I refer people to that podcast who are interested in applying for a career in the 911 industry, specifically as a call taker or dispatcher. But then there's lots of other things in a comm center that you can do. And Ashley has so many tools, information and resources on her website and in those podcast episodes with all the guests that she has on her show. I would recommend you to check that out. And I think she did give a shout out to her private group on Facebook, which is also called Let's Talk Dispatch, which is just a private group of where so many people come together, and it's a forum for them to share information and love on each other and give each other support when necessary too.
Look at that.
And that's all the time we have, folks. That's all the time we have. So
we are here live on Let's Talk Dispatch today. Figuring out life. I guess my camera goes to sleep at like 1:25. So that's great to know for future.
Oh, goodness.
Future recordings. But let's do a giveaway. We're going to do a giveaway here. Cassie, just with all of the wonderful support here for Ryan, who just got a promotion for his unpaid position with the Rotsby Dispatcher. We will, let's see, we have, well, let me share this with you. Let's see what we're going to give away here.
Yes, prizes.
Whoop, whoop.
I also have some raspy swag that I love very much. So
Hey,
people, you're in for a treat. Oh, sticker pack.
whoop, whoop, sticker pack. Okay, we'll do 3 more choices here.
Do you have a favorite sticker? Which one is your favorite?
I
I
feel
mean, you
like
made it.
my favorite is actually the shirt I have on, pedal pusher.
The pedal pusher.
For it's one of the first things that I resonated with when I was in training was stomping the heck out of that pedal. Especially at the agency I was at, we were go. I mean, we were high priority to high priority. And everybody getting a sticker pack.
Everybody be getting stickers. Making it rain.
So I
stickers.
remember that being one of my early like ideas in my head. I was like, I'm gonna make a sticker, an image with the pedal that dispatchers, relate to, because I played ball in college, and like I'm all like, I'm a team gal, and I loved creating merch that we all can relate to. The muter, ma'am, what's the location? Like, I love going to the conferences and people like laughing at and telling me like, oh, that's Brittany. She's the mammer at our agency. So it is really fun, like creating these super dispatch specific merch that folks can relate to.
Well, looks like you're giving away all your stickers today.
I know. I'm gonna have to print some new ones.
Oh, Bree,
if you are still tuned in live, you were tuning in from YouTube, and you're still here with us, you want a sticker pack, I will try to find you on YouTube, but if you do follow us on socials, please shoot me a direct message and we'll get that sticker pack to you.
Send her those stickers.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Oh, who we got here? Lizzie.
Yeah, it's going to be Lizzie, another sticker pack. I believe she was on Facebook. So, Lizzie, if you're here, we'll get you a sticker pack as well.
Congratulations, Lizzie.
And last, for this moment, but not least, is going to be Megan Mari. Facebook as well. So, Megan, if you are tuned in live with us now, you won a sticker pack.
Ashley, before you minimize this, I will give away another book.
Okay, awesome. You want me to
spin the wheel right now? Spin this wheel.
All right.
Like your life depended on it. Like you're in the showcase showdown.
Whoop, whoop.
Price is right. Nicole,
you have won but you've won a book.
Did she already win a book?
No. I didn't. I misspoke. You have won a book, courtesy of 911 Training Institute, a awesome piece of literature that really is geared to and for 911 dispatchers. So I really appreciate you, Ryan, being willing to jump on, give stuff away, and chat with me.
Got it. It's always my pleasure. I love giving stuff away. Especially when it's stuff that other people have paid for, right?
Yeah, heck yeah.
Congratulations to all your winners. Congratulations, Ashley, on your 100th episode and still going strong. So we can't wait to see all of those future episodes, and it's always an honor and pleasure to join you for these events. So
thank you.
Carry on, my friend.
Thank you so much. One thing that I did want to put out there, someone asked me earlier, I think it was Dom, when I started the YouTube channel, and I actually did look up the stat. The YouTube channel went live, so I created the Raspy Dispatcher on March 14th in 2020 is when I created the actual YouTube channel. Now, there was probably nothing on it on that date, but that was the day I go, I'm going to go make a YouTube channel. And we have 5,000 plus subscribers on that YouTube channel now. But we also have accumulated over 425,860 views on that YouTube channel since its inception. So that's folks who are listening to this podcast, aspiring dispatchers who are trying to figure out what the heck we're getting ourselves into. Those are all reflective of all those different types of people who are tuning in, wanting these resources, wanting this information about the job of a 911 dispatcher.
Yeah. Jillian,
we just hung out with you not too long ago at Calnina, which she braved a storm, literally, to get down to us. So hello, Jillian. Appreciate you. She actually bought a bunch of because shirts for her folks, bags for her folks for Dispatcher Appreciation Week. So thank you so much, Jill. All righty. So as we come to a close, Ryan, what is something you're wanting people to know about 911 Training Institute, where to follow you guys, where to find you, how to get in touch, all that good stuff?
Oh, you can find the 911 Training Institute by visiting our website, which is 911training.net. And you can follow us on social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Make regular posts there, trying to share information and resources with our followers, resources like the Raspy Dispatcher. We also make regular appearances at conferences, just like you do. So I have a team of folks, Dr. Rick Jenka, as well as Tyrone Kelsey, who is a guest.
Wonderful. Yes.
Are going to be in Michigan this week. So if you're in the great state of Michigan and you're attending the Michigan Public Safety Telecommunications Conference, you can find Dr. Jenka and Tyrone there. And then I will be with you in Arizona.
Yay! Okay, we got to get dinner on the books. I didn't realize. Oh, you did tell me that. I just, I work graveyard. Forgive me.
Party in the desert. Party in the desert.
It's going to be so fun. They're doing a wonderful job promoting it. I feel like bringing folks down there. It'll be my first time going to Arizona for a conference. But I think it's going to be a really, really, really good time hanging out with everybody there.
Yes. Shout out to leaders in Arizona because Arizona, Nina, and APCO work collaboratively together to make this a fantastic conference for their membership and all other first responders. Arizona is a very progressive state when it comes to wellness for first responders. So that is exciting to see.
Awesome. And of course, if you're listening, you're like, what the heck is NINA? What the heck is APCO? What the heck are we talking about? It is a national.
Tell the people.
Right? It is our, what's the right word for it? It is organizations that are for dispatchers by dispatchers. Am I making that up? Possibly. But they are organizations that represent us. They lobby for us. They create conferences. There's trainings. And yep, NINA stands for National Emergency Number Association. APCO, Ryan, do you know what APCO stands for off the top of your head? I don't. Forgive us for this poor advertising pitch.
The Association of Public Safety Communications Officials.
Oh, perfect. Okay. But two different organizations that are kind of in the same wheelhouse that you could check out. And they have a bunch of different resources available for dispatchers. So certainly check them out. Consider being a member if that's something you are wanting to get involved with. And should we do a couple more giveaways, Ryan?
Yes,
before
please.
We come to a close.
That is
All
why
right.
I'm here for the giveaways.
Whoop whoop.
Whoop, whoop.
All righty, let's see what we're giving away.
Such a colorful wheel.
I know, right?
More stickers.
More sticker packs.
You are going to have to make so many more stickers.
I know, right? I actually am in the process of like a stack of them right here because the conferences, we're almost running out from the last conference. So we are definitely in the process of creating more stickers.
More stickers. Oh, just made it.
Just made it. We have another wonderful book. All right, we'll do one more spin.
Let's see here. What else we got? Let's get some raspy t-shirts.
I know, right?
T-shirts.
Oh, did you speak it into existence?
Because shirt.
Because shirt.
There it is. There it is.
All right. Okay, these will be our last 3 giveaways as we come to a close of our live episode here. Let's see who's won.
All right. Oh. Nicole? No?
Alma Quintero.
Congratulations, Alma. She gets the stickers?
She gets the stickers, sticker pack. Alma, if you're listening, we'll get those to you. I'll be sliding into everybody's DMs during shift tonight. So
be sure to message Ashley all night long because she'll be awake.
I will be awake. John Hudson, you are the lovely winner of another 911 Resilience book.
Congratulations, John.
And then last, but certainly not least, our Because shirt.
Matt
Is going to Matt
Harwell.
Harwell. Matt is wonderful. They're out there in Lincoln, Nebraska, doing amazing things with that department. So I will let you know, Matt, or you let me know where I need to send it. To everybody who has won a giveaway today, thank you so much for tuning in, for participating with our 100th episode of Let's Talk Dispatch podcast. Ryan, thank you so much for being willing to jump on with me. I tend to harass all the people that I brought on today to help me really push this narrative. And I'm always so appreciative of you being willing to do so.
It is my pleasure, ma'am. Carry on the good work.
Awesome. Until next time, everybody, stay raspy. Bye, Ryan. All right, bye. Bye, everyone. Signing out for the 100th episode here on Let's Talk Dispatch. Thank you for listening to Let's Talk Dispatch podcast. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. You can find us wherever you listen to podcasts, including Apple Podcasts and Spotify. If you're interested in becoming a guest on the show, or maybe even submitting your own story, you can do all that and more at theraspydispatcher.com. Until next time, stay raspy.